lectures, day 5 of the notes. So this part of the note you guys gonna be doing right after you finish the quiz. So you don't have to wait for me to start the classwork. If I'm gonna go over the 2 pages, but if you want to continue working, please do by all means. All right. So in this section, we're going to talk about congruent chords and arcs. Remember, this is congruent chords and arcs. We talk about arcs separately. We talk about what a chord is and the definition. But what happened when you have a congruent chord and a congruent arc? So there are 2 things you have to know to make sure that 2 chords are congruent. 2 chords are congruent if and only if their corresponding arcs are congruent. AB is congruent CD in this case, which implies arc AB is congruent equal to the measure of arc CD, or vice versa. There are equidistant from the center, so if AB is congruent to CD, therefore that implies EF is congruent to EG. So it's one of the two. It doesn't matter which one they give you. They can give you the chord and you can imply about the arc, or they can give you the arc imply about the chord. And this is a biconditional statement. Remember the 2 arrows? Biconditional. Meaning if you write them both way, it should be true. So you can tell me the distance from the center to the chord is congruent, then I can tell you that the 2 chords are congruent, or I can say the 2 chords are congruent, therefore the distance is the same. The second thing you need to understand is if a diameter of a radius is perpendicular to the chord, so if it gives you a point of 90 degree here, then it bisects the chord and its arc into 2 equal parts. So if this is 90, that means DG is congruent to GC. F is 90 degree, that means BF and FA are congruent. The same way with the arc. AH is congruent to HB, DI congruent to IC. Okay, so make sure you write this down, and everything else we do after this, follow this rule. All right, here we go. So we are now trying to do, like, I'll try to do the odd numbers and then we'll do the even numbers in class, okay? But if you want to do both, you can. All right, so the first one is it's given that this chord is congruent to this chord, which implies that the arc are going to be congruent. That means arc SR is going to be congruent to arc ST. So because of that, all I have to do is 115 equals to 7x plus 24. Okay, that's all we have to do, and then solve for x. So minus 24 from both sides. And one thing I want you guys to do is when you are working on this um, problems, just pull your calculator on the side, and you have a graphing calculator on your computer, so that you guys are not making simple mistakes because you didn't add it right or you didn't multiply it right. Uh, and just make sure you guys are really um, using a calculator so that you can do uh, faster and also at the same time accurate answer. So this would give us a syntax error. All right, what did I do? Oh, I did double negative 1,115 minus 24. I guess I was talking. And 91. So by the way, this syntax error is also a good way to learn about computers. So this will be divided by 7, right? And the answer will be 13. So this will give you uh, 91, right? Equals to 7x. Divide both sides by 7. X would be 13. And then always go back and did I answer what the question is asking? You did, right? So for X. So I need you guys to do the same thing with the number 2 and see if you guys can figure it out. All right, number 3. So here they gave me the chord. No, they showed me that the chords are congruent. Based on the congruency of the chord, the arcs are congruent. Here, the same thing, but this one, number 2, so I'll jump to number 2 just to give you a different example. So you guys do 3. Okay. All right. Number 2, uh, the arcs are given to be congruent. This is congruent to this. That implies that the chords are going to be congruent. So that means JK is congruent to LM. Okay, so all you have to do is 552 equals 18x minus 2. So we'll do plus 2 from both sides. Okay, this gives you 54 equals to 18x. So you have to divide both sides by 18. Okay, so you can pull your calculators and then say, okay, what's 54 divided by 18? Okay, that would give you a 3. Perfect. So x will be 3. All right, I want you to guys to do number 3. But one thing I want you to do is after you see after I got 3, the question asks for what is x, so that I'm done. But here after you solve for x, the question is asking you for xy, so you gotta plug in the answer into this equation. Okay. All right, number 4. Find MS, knowing that the two chords are congruent. So I'll do this again. So 5x plus 6 equals to 11x minus 72. So I'll always take the lower number to the other side to keep my numbers positive. Then I take the number to the other side. So then 5 minus 5 is 0. 6 plus 72 is 78 equals 11 minus 5 is 6, right? 6x. So you divide both sides by 6. So then I pull my calculator out and we said what is 78 divided by 6? 13. So x is 13. But am I done? Can I just move on to the next one? No, what the question is asking you, what is RC, right? RS, I'm sorry. RS is this arc here. So which is 11x plus 72. So I have to do 11 times 13 minus, oh, come on, pen, move away. All right, let's move it away. 7 times, 11 times 13 minus 72, right? So let's pull the calculator out. So 11 times 13. So I can put that in the parentheses. Then minus 72. Okay, press enter. It gives you 71. So the measure of the arc, RS, is 71. So that's the answer you guys have to give me. Okay, so just take your time as you guys go through it. So 5 is the same as what we have done. So 6 is a little bit different because now they said MP. So it was given that the two arcs are congruent, right? And then it says um, MP, so the distance from the center to the chord, the perpendicular, and then NP. So they're clearly MP and PN are going to be congruent. So I have to set them equal to each other. So I have to say 5x minus 34 equals 2x minus 4. Again, remember what the question is asking is what is MP? So after I solve for x, I gotta plug it in into this equation. So we'll do 2x minus 2x. So this gives you 3x minus 34 equals to negative 4. So I'll do plus 34, which gives you 30. So 3x equals to 30. X is 10. Okay, so now all we do is plug it in. So 5 times 10 minus 34. So 50 minus 34 would be the answer, which is 26, right? And the measure of MP is 26. All right, next page. So that's kind of the same. It's the same thing with 7 and 8. I'm sure you should be able to figure it out. The chords are congruent. So most of it is looks like you gotta make them equal to each other. Okay. So number 9, if circle Z, in circle Z, if RS is 18, right? One of the chord is 18. TY is 42. So this is kind of tricky because now they're asking multiple things, right? So the RS is 18. That's what we got, right? And we got TY. TY is this piece, 42. So knowing this is 42, I know this is going to be 42 because this is going to be the whole thing. Knowing our S is 18, TU would be 18, right? So those are the things you have to remember. So now the first question is, what is TV? So TU is 18. TV is going to be half of it, which is 9. TU is the whole thing, which is 18. WS is half of the 18, which is 9. And then YU, so remember, you always have to look at what is this, the arc that they gave you, right? So they're not talking about YU as a chord, but YU as an arc, which is going to be 42. And then lastly, it says what is RS? RS and TY will be the same because they are equal distance from the center, and it gives you YU is 42 plus, RS is 42 plus 42, which is 84. Sorry about that. Because this is 42, this is 42, but the whole thing is 84. Okay, that's what you guys have to do. All right, I'll do one more thing, and I think you guys should be able to get the rest of them done. Oh, no, no, let's do this problem. So let me skip that part because this one is a little bit tricky. Not tricky, but you guys, it's a different question. So use the circle below for question 13 and 14. So in this case, what is VW, right? VW is the whole thing. So, all right. So we know the chords are going to be bisected in half, right? This is going to be congruent to this. So the whole thing, if I know, if I can find ZW, then I can double it to find the whole thing. So as you can see, this gives you a right triangle. So we're going to create a squared, b squared, c squared. So we have 5 squared plus this, I'll just call this b, and this is b, right? B squared equals to 13 squared. All right, 25 equals to, plus p squared, sorry, equals to 169. So you have to do minus 25 from both sides. So b squared is going to give you 144. B would be 12. Okay, so B is 12, which is equivalent to ZW, right? But the question is, what is VW, which is 12 plus 12, which gives you 24. Okay, and then this is YW. So I'm trying to find this arc, but you gotta be able to find this angle. So now, if I draw this right triangle properly so that you guys can see it, this is 90, right? I found this to be 5. We found this to be 12. We found this to be 13. So if I know this angle here, which is the central angle, then YW will be the same. But how would I find an angle measure in a right triangle when they only gave me the side? Remember, I can use trig ratio. So the good thing about this problem is you can use any of them. You can use sine, you can use cos, because all the numbers are given. So I'll just use sine. So sine of the degree, so let's say x equals h, O is 12, and h is 13. So I can find sine inverse, right? Remember, when I can't find the angle, when the angle is not given, I can do the inverse function. So you go to your calculator, make sure you cleared it out, and always go to the mode, and check is in degree. This one is in degree, so I don't need to worry about it. So I will come here, press second sign. You can even do second cos or second tan because all the numbers are given. 12 divided by 13. Close the parentheses, enter, gives you 67.3. So, which makes, so x is 67.3, which makes y w 67.3. Okay, and 15 and 16, we'll do them in class, but I just want you guys to try them first, and then we'll finish them in class. Right? Have a good day.